We're back with a surprise for you guys, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. Here from Vicarious Visions is Guha Bala, and joining us from IGN, we've got Steve. Guys, what have we got?
Well, we've got Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, and I've got to say, I am a fanboy for the original game. I love it. So
I'm the greatest fan!
I totally don't want to gush about this because I'm supposed to be like the cynical, jaded Generation Xer, but I totally love this game. Played it several times. I'm excited that you've improved it with the sequel. What's new? What have you done to make this game even better?
Well, at its heart, Marvel Ultimate Alliance is bringing back the largest army of superheroes, so 24 playable heroes and villains right out of the box. Things that are different and I think really offer a new, fresh angle, to the franchise. We put it in a modern setting, in a modern narrative, put the players in the middle of the debate between security and liberty, take inspiration from the Marvel Civil War storyline to do that. The game is really a what-if scenario of the Civil War. Players are led up to the Civil War, then they get to choose, do I want to side with Iron Man and register my secret identity with the government, or Captain America? Third, we have kind of a new angle on powers. In addition to hundreds of hero powers that you can play as a natural force through having 24 playable characters, we have a concept of power fusions. When heroes encounter overwhelming odds, they combine their powers to overcome them. And that's where the real concept, which has occurred throughout comic book history, came from. So every character in this game can combine his or her powers with every other character in this game, yielding over 250 massive attacks that players can discover and tactically master.
It's going to be a real balancing chore for you guys.
It sure does.
Well, before we get to that, let's talk about the Civil War a little bit. How much freedom does the player have to choose whether they go for registration or, I guess, the underground life that some of the other heroes have chosen in the comics?
The Civil War storyline starts really in a prelude to the Civil War with a Secret War storyline. Heroes are united, and they go in a covert mission against Latveria. Latveria retaliates, and the public, in kind of an outrage, has a sentiment to register superheroes. Now the player experiences that whole build-up and has to make the choice. Do I want to register, or do I want to stand up for individual liberties? And so the player we follow the key beats of the Civil War storyline. The player gets to see that from either angle, depending on which choice they make, to register or not. And of course, when they play that one storyline through the end, they can come back and play the other side as well. Eventually, we get to the other side of the Civil War and we take a new twist on the storyline altogether that brings the Alliance back together to face a new big threat.
What are the practical differences between those choices? Like if I pick registration and you don't, how are our games going to be different?
Well, there's some practical character choices. Now, ultimately, we want to give you as large a roster available to you as possible. But if you pick Captain America's side, you'll have access to him as a playable character, plus key allies like Luke Cage and others that really don't make sense to switch around. On the pro-registration side, you have Iron Man, Reed Richards, and these guys kind of stick together, and you'll get to play only those characters during that part of the storyline. But there are other advantages, too. For example, the pro-registration forces have unique character enhancements, power enhancements, things like that. Essentially things, because they're on the side of the government, they can actually benefit from a play value standpoint. On the other hand, the anti-registration forces have things like better teamwork and other kinds of passive skills and abilities that will really shape that kind of play style a little bit differently. And of course, you have two distinctive angles to the storyline as well.
There's a real compelling reason to try both sides, it sounds like.
I think so. We're going to make it as fun as possible for the player.
Well, you mentioned a lot of familiar characters, Luke Cage, Reed Richards, Iron Man, but we're seeing some new characters here. Tell us about some of the new additions to the team.
Well, some of the characters are backed by popular demand, as you mentioned. Some of the new ones, Iron Fist, Songbird, are totally new to the franchise and have been fan favorites for a long time. Fans have been telling us, well, when are we ever going to see these guys in a video game? Civil War storyline is a great opportunity to introduce Songbird, and likewise, Iron Fist offers really cool martial arts moves and other things like that as well. Now, one of the things that we're bringing to the Ultimate Alliance is villains as well. So we recently revealed Juggernaut, Venom, Goblin. Some of these guys you've seen in other games, some not, but I don't think players have ever been able to play them quite like the way they're playing right now.
So this seems very detailed. What are some of the, what have you at the time, and what are some of the unlockables or achievements that you can gain in this game?
Actually, loads and loads of different opportunities for players to do unique things. I think that in a lot of ways, at its heart, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 is an action role-playing game. Okay. So lots of different ways to upgrade individual character powers, passive abilities,